Ольга, здравствуйте. Вы по-английски немножко говорите?
Ну, совсем чуть-чуть.
Ну, мы попробуем хорошо по-английски поговорить. Если не будет
Хорошо.
получаться, если вы меня не будете понимать, то скажите, я переведу на русский. Хорошо?
Да, хорошо. История такая, я, можно сказать, что-то и могу, а вот с пониманием у меня большие проблемы, поэтому по возможности очень медленно говорите.
Okay. I'll do my best. How are
Okay,
you?
so slowly, I think.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Today is Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a free day.
Mm-hmm. And where are you from?
I'm from Russia. Now I live in a small town between Moscow and St. Petersburg. Its name is Borovichi. I think you don't know anything about this small town.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know anything about it. So, were you born there?
Yes, it is my hometown, but many years I lived in St. Petersburg, and some years ago I moved, and now I live here with my parents.
Okay. And why did you move?
In my life there was a big tragedy. My husband died, and I had to move. I had to move because to live in a big city alone with two little children, it was so difficult for me.
And do you work now?
Work?
Yeah.
Yes, now I work at home. It is interesting, but I'm an English teacher, and now I can work only with little children, with children from a kindergarten, not school children. That's why my English is so bad. But as you see, I try to improve my English, and because I want to work with school children.
Okay. So do you have some sort of education?
Yes, I have some education. English education was my second education, and I studied in the evenings, and I may say that my education is not so good. And after I graduated the university, I didn't work with English, and I worked in a big restaurant company. That's why I didn't use English at all. And nowadays, after my moving, after I moved to my hometown, I started to work.
Okay. Do you like it?
I started to teach, yes.
Do you like it?
Yes, I like it. I like it, and I don't want to change anything. But I said already about my problem. Now I can work only with little children, and the situation is so.
Okay. Maybe you want to ask me some questions too. What would you like to know about me?
Yes, of course. I would like to know about you, and tell me, please, where do you live now?
At the moment, I'm living in England. At the moment, right now, I'm in England.
And where were you born?
Originally, I'm from Ukraine.
Ukraine! Oh, you are our neighbor, my neighbor, yes? Because, of course, all Russian people think that people from Ukraine is our brother. But, of course, our political situation nowadays is not so good. But People, I think, people don't believe our politicians. People from politics.
Yeah, politicians. It's fine.
Anastasia, you just can't stay clear from the political topics, can you?
Oh, I didn't start
I'm
it.
just kidding. I'm kidding. It's just something. It's just a law of attraction.
Actually,
It's just always coming to you.
yeah.
Olga, let's stay clear of political topics so people don't ban us from Facebook or something like that.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next thing. Maybe we can do some corrections. We only have 15 minutes left, actually, with this lesson, because we have Evgenia who will start in 15 minutes.
Okay. So I will show you now how we make the corrections. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen the previous lesson. So whatever, is it okay if I speak to you in English, or would you like me to do the corrections in Russian?
No, I think you may speak in English.
Okay, so I'm fine, thank you. Today is Saturday. It's free day. Well, you can say it's a free day.
Every day, of course.
Yes. But how do you say a Russian word выходной?
Выходной, yes.
Yes, how do you say it in English?
Weekend.
Okay, so yes, it's a weekend, but weekend is usually so I will show you another thing. Here you will see just a whiteboard at the moment, just a white screen. Yeah,
white screen, okay.
And this is a place where I can type anything I want. So normally I use it for some explanations, some extra information for you. So let's think about the ways we can translate the word выходной. You say weekend, yeah?
Weekend.
Weekend is usually Saturday and Sunday. What is the, if you have a выходной in the middle of the week, how do you call it? How do you call it?
Free day.
No.
Yes?
Another word.
Another word. Oh, I don't know.
A day off.
A day, yes, really. A day. Oh, I know about it.
Выходной, middle of the week. Okay, and another word, holiday, it can also refer to a выходной. It's a выходной в праздник. So, free day is more like a свободный день. So if you meant выходной, then I would use a weekend or a day off. Any of those, because you are talking about one day. Okay? Next. I'm from Russia. Now I live in a small town between something and something. Its name is Borovichi. Are you planning to move somewhere from this town, or do you want to live there forever?
Oh, repeat, please.
Do you want to move somewhere from this town, or are you planning on living there forever?
No, I didn't want to move and to live in this town, but of course now I got habit.
Got a habit, yeah.
Yes.
You mean привыкла, got used to.
Got to used to, yes. Got to used to, and I live here, and I'm happy.
Okay, then we'll leave it as it is. Yes, it is my hometown, but many years I lived in St. Petersburg, and some years I moved, and now I live here. So, tenses. In the first part, you're saying, but many years I lived in St. Petersburg. Do you see any problems here?
In the end of sentence, yes?
In the middle, in this part. But many years I lived in St. Petersburg.
Okay, it must be in the end of sentence.
It can be in the middle, it doesn't matter. But the tense that you are using is wrong. You have to use another tense.
Yes, I see.
Which tense do you have to use? What do you think?
По-русски скажи, пожалуйста.
I lived in St. Petersburg.
Yes.
Мы можем на «ты», да, говорить друг другу?
Можно, конечно.
То есть ты жила в Санкт-Петербурге, а теперь ты живешь в новом городе, и ты говоришь, что ты много лет прожила в Санкт-Петербурге. То есть действие, которое происходило в прошлом в течение какого-то времени, есть по-другому. Какое здесь время лучше использовать? Не обычный past simple. Это
Past perfect continuous.
Да. Какой?
Past perfect continuous, правильно?
Present perfect. Как бы present perfect continuous — это когда действие происходило до сегодняшнего момента речи. Ну, то есть ты говоришь, как сейчас происходит. Past perfect — это когда действие происходило, и потом еще какое-то другое действие произошло. Здесь, как ты думаешь, какой лучше использовать?
Past perfect continuous.
Потому что потом я переехала, да?
Да.
Хорошо. Построй, пожалуйста, past perfect continuous.
I have been living in Saint Petersburg for many years.
Да, только не have, а had, потому что мы договорились на past perfect. Если был бы have, это present. For many years, that's right. Why are you using for many years?
Ну, в tечение...
That's right. Yes, when we are talking about a period of time, we always use for. Some years ago, пропущено. Some years ago, несколько лет назад.
Ну, я-то имела в виду, что я там много лет прожила. Это просто я неправильно предложение построила.
Okay. Well, I understood it as some years ago I moved. Несколько лет назад я переехала. And now I live here. And now I live here. Next.
I moved and now I live here.
Yeah, it's correct. In my life, there was a big tragedy. My husband died and I had to move. Okay, it's fine. In my life, there was a big tragedy. Yeah, because to live in a big city alone with 2 children was so difficult for me. You don't need to use it because you have a big subject. Yes, to live in a big city alone with 2 children, with 2 little children. It's always better when you are starting the sentence with a verb to use the end in ing. So living in a big city alone instead of to live. But to live is also fine, but it's better to use the end in ing. Okay?
Okay.
Now I work at home. When you are using the word now, I always want to say, you should say, I am working at home, as if it's a present continuous, because now we say it's a signal word, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use present continuous. So again, explain to me, are you planning on changing your job?
No.
Okay.
No.
When we use I
don't
work.
plan to change my job.
Because if you have the plan to change something, usually you have to use present continuous here. So I am working at home or from home. Do you mean you're working from home or at home?
At home?
Я работаю дома.
Да.
Okay. It's interesting, but I'm an English teacher and now I can work only with little children, with children from kindergarten, but not from school. As you see, I try to improve my English because I want to work with school children. Okay, from kindergarten. Okay. How do we call children, small children? The children that didn't go to the kindergarten, to school yet. How do we call them? There is a word for it. We have a baby, and then we have a child.
Baby, children.
Yeah, so basically it's kind of between a baby and a child. We have who?
I don't know.
A toddler.
Oh, toddler. Oh, I don't use this word.
So it's like it's a small child.
Small child.
Oh, you know, when they just start talking, when they start walking, they are called toddlers.
Maybe between 1 and, for example, 5.
5, yeah. You will see later as well. So now I will close the whiteboard for now so that we can see the corrections again. I have some education. English education was my education, and I studied in the university in the evening. And I may say that my education is not so good. So это было вечернее, да, вечернее обучение.
My second education, I wanted to say, English education was my second education.
Okay, yeah, let's put it here. Second education, and I studied in the evening. It's fine, but it's, you know, in the evenings maybe would be better. По вечерам, because in the evening вечером. And I may say that my education is not so good. after I graduated the university, I didn't work with English. There is a mistake. Can you see it?
Tense. Yes. After I. From the university. Yes.
That's right. Yes. Why? Always after the verb graduate, we use the preposition from. Always. Graduate
Always.
from. Next. And I worked in a big restaurant company. What do you mean a restaurant company? В большой ресторанной компании?
Да. Я работала с персоналом, вообще не работала с английским.
Okay. And I didn't use English at all. А как сказать, это была как сеть ресторанов или?
Да. Yes.
Как сказать сеть?
Net?
No. Not net, yes, but we never use the word net in the meaning of сеть ресторанов, сеть гостиниц. It's a different word.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Chain.
Chain. Chain. Chain.
Chain мы переводим обычно как цепь. Цепочка, цепь.
Mountain chain.
Yeah.
I remember this from school.
Yeah. So after I moved to my hometown, I started to work with children. It's fine here, but again, just for your, just to broaden your knowledge, when we have two actions in the past, which tense do we use with the action that was the furthest from now?
Oh, repeat, please.
The oldest, I'd say, the oldest action.
Oldest action.
Yes. Which tense do we use for it?
Past perfect.
And how do we create it?
After I had.
That's right.
Stop.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, after I had moved to my hometown, I started to work with
children. Yes, here in this situation, past perfect is not necessary, but you can say it anyway. But there are situations where you must use past perfect. Otherwise, a person cannot understand which action happened first and which action happened next. But here, because of the word after, you already explain which action happened first and which action happened after. That's why past perfect here is not 100% necessary. Okay?
Okay, yes.
Next. Yeah. I started to teach. Yes, I like it and I don't want to change anything. Good. But I said already about my problem. Now I can work only with little children. So I don't know, little children is a better way to say toddlers, but not necessarily. Little children is also fine. Here we have the word already. And if you use the word already, usually we use which tense?
Present perfect.
That's right. So.
But I have said already.
No.
I've already said.
That's
I've already said.
Yeah. There are several signal words for present perfect. Already always comes in the middle.
In the middle, yes.
Yes. What about the word yet? Уже. Where does it come? Или еще.
Where does it come?
Yes. Where do you put it in its
in the end of sentence.
Okay. And never?
And never after have. But
That's
I
right.
have
So
never.
in the middle. Ever?
Ever after have. I have.
That's right.
Ever.
Good. Yes. The majority of these signal words, they are in the middle. So between have and the third form of the verb. But yet always comes at the end.
Yes, I have noticed this mistake when I was talking, but I didn't stop.
Yeah, sometimes it's when you are talking, like a second after you said something, you think, oh, I made a mistake, but it's already too late, so you have to continue.
Yes.
That's fine. I would like to know about you. Я бы хотела знать тебя. Maybe I would like to know, как сказать, некоторые вещи о тебе.
Something about you?
Something or some things about you, if you want to know several. Where do you live now? Where were you born? So, okay, here, where do you live now? It's better to say, where are you living now? Or even if you say, where do you live? Then you don't have to use the word now. Because if you're using now, then to me it means that I'm living somewhere and then I want to move somewhere after.
Maybe nowadays.
Nowadays, я can be. Где ты сейчас живешь? Yeah. All Russian people think that people from Ukraine is our brother. People is plural. It's not just one person. It's many people. That's why not is, but what? Which form of to be?
Ah, of course. Oh, very bad mistake.
Yes, it's
from Ukraine. Of course.
Our as well brothers.
Brothers.
There are many people, many brothers. But of course our political situation is not good, so it's not so good, but people don't believe our politicians. It's fine when you said politicians, it's people who are dealing with politics somehow in your country, so it's fine to say that. Good. Did you understand everything? Do you have any questions?
Oh, no, I haven't got any questions.
That's good. Well, okay, then we have to finish because I was told that there is another person waiting. Thank you very much for the lesson. It was very nice and interesting to talk to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.